All right, back for another beer review, and today is the continuation of Barrel Age Michigan week here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from Oddside Ales, and they are out of Grand Haven, Michigan. And this is their Bourbon Maple Wishes and Pecan Dreams. So this is a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Porter that is brewed with maple syrup and pecans. Comes in 11% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 5 months old. And I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx. He hooked me up with not only this beer, but most of the beers that I'm reviewing this week for Barrel Age Michigan theme week. And yeah, he's just a great dude. Hooked me up with some awesome beers, so thank you very much. If you guys want to check out the beer mail unboxing video I did of all the goodies he sent my way, I'll post a link in the description box, and you can have a better understanding of all the beers I'll be reviewing this week. So once again, thank you very much, Jeff. Now, this one I've seen Brad Allison review. I've seen Jeff post on Tapped, and it just sounds absolutely delicious to me. So I can't wait to get into it. You have, maple syrup, you have pecans, you have bourbon barrel aged Imperial Porter. Sounds like deliciousness potentially in a glass. Let's give it a crack here. So this is about 5 months old, and I think we should be okay. That should be fine. You're not dealing with coffee or anything like that. We'll see how the maple syrup and the pecans, everything have held up. Now this one is pouring out pretty much like motor oil, which is crazy, but yeah, looking beautiful. So that was like a pitch black in the glass. It's pretty much pitch black, but there are a little bit of like brown tinges here at the bottom. Had about just a thin film of a dark brown head. It looked pretty creamy, but we'll see if we can generate a head here. Lots of alcohol legs, I can tell right from the get-go. Yeah, tons of legs. But yeah, that looks beautiful. It really does. Let's get a nose on it. Now, this is about out of the fridge for actually over an hour, so it's probably room temp at this point. Down here, it's about low 60s, 63, 64. All right, now as it is opened up in the glass, like the first sniff I had, I was like, it doesn't really smell like much. Now the bourbon's starting to come to the forefront. So yeah, it's very sweet, but a lot of bourbon right off the top. I'm getting a generic sweetness as opposed to straight up maple syrup. Not really getting any nuttiness or pecans or anything. Like a sweeter dark chocolate. I mention this all the time, but Hershey's special dark chocolate as opposed to like a 40, 50, 60% cacao bar. Maybe a touch of vanilla from the barrels. Just, again, always got to be honest when it comes to these reviews. This doesn't smell bad or anything. It's just, there's not a lot to go on based on the nose. And again, I'm trying to open it up, trying to give it some swirls. And like I said, it's warmer, so it's not cold where it's, going to hide a lot of the aromas and a lot of the flavors. So it doesn't have a big nose for me. Hopefully the taste is much better. Thanks again, Jeff, for this one, and cheers, everyone. That's actually pretty good. The finish of this beer has a very slight kiss of like maple drizzled pecan. That's really nice. So right up front, the first thing that I can tell from this beer, more so than anything, is this is actually a pretty big and thick beer. It's syrupy in a sense. This is like straight on full body. I thought it'd probably be thin based on the fact that, well, this is a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Porter. Porters have a tendency to be a bit thinner than stouts, for me anyway. And then you barrel age it. Feels like it would cut, a little bit of that body, make it even a bit more thin. But this actually has a nice syrupy mouthfeel to it and body. It's really nice. Yeah, so straight on, like basically medium full body, almost straight on full. I just say full. F it, it's full. The mouthfeel itself, it is slightly almost creamy, soft, and smooth. There is carbonation here, but not a lot. So it actually enhances the mouthfeel for me anyway. It might not for other people. They might feel it's a little undercarb. Man, the flavors are really nice, but they're not super distinct. So right up front, a lot of that sweet dark chocolate, like that Hershey's special dark chocolate, it's the main thing I'm getting. It's like a syrupy, basically dark chocolate. As it passes through the palate, The bourbon sticks its nose in just a little bit, but there's not, for me, there's, at this point, again, this beer is 5 months old, but at this point, there isn't a ton of bourbon on this one. There's a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of oak tannin, just a little bit of the bourbon itself, but that kind of dissipates right away. And then the finish is this nice soft kiss of, like I said, maple drizzled pecan. So you're getting the maple syrup, you're getting the pecans. There's a slight nuttiness on the finish. It's not big. It might not even be noticeable for some people. For myself, I am picking it up on the end. Now this one finishes to the sweeter side of things. This is more of like a dessert beer, but it's not sickly sweet. Like I'm gonna be able to drink this bottle and not really think too much about it. Like I'm not gonna be halfway through and go, oh man, it's just super sweet and I just can't do it. It's not gonna become cloying at any point, but it definitely leans towards the sweeter side of things. 11%, I really can't tell you it's 11% on the palate. I can tell you it's a bigger beer, maybe like 9, maybe 9.5. But I do get a pretty big warming into the chest and in the stomach. So that's where it's noticeable that it's a big beer. Not on the palate, but like feeling it as it goes down. It's not distracting whatsoever. And I actually like the fact that I'm feeling it that way as opposed to on the palate. I feel like yesterday I did the Griffin Claw Flying Buffalo, the Bourbon Barrel Aged Great Lakes coffee version, and that one was super boozy and just like boom in your face. This one is much more subdued when it comes to the alcohol. You can't really tell this is 11%. Yeah, this is really good. It's not overly complex. I think this doesn't, based on everything that's in here and what they're going for, it lacks complexity, but it makes up for it with, it's just a freaking really tasty beer. So I'm really enjoying this one more so than I thought. Wish there would be a little bit more pecan in here, maybe a little bit more maple syrup. Like I said, I do get that on the back end, but I would like to see that omnipresent, or at least, I would like to see that a bit more throughout the entire palate as opposed to just on the back end. Again, could be different for everybody else, but I'm really digging this one. So the Bourbon Maple Wishes and Pecan Dreams from Oddside, I'm going to give that a high 4.25 out of 5, like a 4.3 we'll go with. I think this is really well made. I think it's absolutely delicious, and I'm going to have no problem putting that away. I do wish there was more maple and more pecan, but I do like the fact that it's not real big and boozy. You can tell you're drinking a bigger beer, but not because you're getting the alcohol vapors on the palate. You're actually just feeling it down into the chest and whatnot. So, man, I really like what Oddside does. I have a few more from them this week, courtesy of Jeff, so can't wait to get into those ones. And once again, Jeff, I appreciate you sending all these beers my way. They're a lot of fun to try, and I really wanted to try this one after seeing Brad review it, and you actually put it on a tap, so really cool that I got a chance to try it. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to be back with another barrel-aged Michigan beer, and it should be a lot of fun. Until then, cheers.